Good morning, everyone. This is Srikanth Rajan, and welcome back to the Stock Market Podcast from MPIinvest.com. Well, so we've discussed a lot about the market yesterday in the Market Pulse video. If you've not done, watch that. Do watch that before coming back to this video because that will give the entire information on what we can expect for this week. So, apart from that, if you see what happened after the markets opened this morning in the Asian markets, that is something that we'll be focusing on today's podcast. So the first thing, of course, the US futures are flat. They are trading flat. So that is kind of a good sign, but of course, it's not negative. So that's a good sign. And if you look at the Asian markets also, all of them are positive except Japan and Taiwan. In fact, Shanghai is up by almost more than 1%, and most of the Asian markets are trading in the green, whereas Japan is down by about 0.5%. And SGX Nifty, if you look at, has been again flat, I would say. So there was a rise in SGX Nifty on Friday night, as discussed yesterday in the market pulse, after the US markets actually rallied up on Friday. But then after that, there has not been a significant change. Naturally, when the US futures are flat, SGX Nifty also tends to be flat. But it is at right now at 18,158, which of course means that we might see a slightly positive opening in Indian market. So that is on the cards. Now, the important thing is how big will the gap up be? Because if you look at Friday, on Friday also, Indian markets were actually showing a flat opening, but from there, just before the market opening, there was the news of the SDFC twins reaching in the MCSI index. And what happened was we could see the market opening with a big gap down. So of late, there has been this situation as discussed yesterday that SGX Nifty is not being tracked by Indian market. Of course, some cues can be taken, but then the numbers are not exactly same. So that's exactly why I'm kind of expecting the market to be kind of slightly positive to flat in Indian opening. But then, of course, things could change by the time market opens. However, like I always say, I don't want the market to see a big gap up because that could actually see some sell off. But even if it opens flat, that would be slightly good because markets could probably tend to take some support and start moving upwards. But now, like we've discussed, the important levels to watch would be 18,000. So 18,000 is a very emotional support, 18,000 being a rounded number as well. So the people would be watching 18,000 as a level. Of course, intraday volatility can be there, but if the closing happens above 18,000, market can still be stable. Because there are some important data coming this week. We all know by weekend there are a lot of important data, especially if we see we have the Indian inflation number data coming on Friday, and on Wednesday we have the US inflation data coming. Both are expected to be good. I mean, both are expected to be coming down. That's kind of almost 90% sure. But if at all by any chance it comes higher, then that could be kind of a blow to the market. But apart from that, the major macro we're looking at for India would be the Karnataka elections. So Karnataka elections on Wednesday, and as soon as the elections are over, as we discussed yesterday, the details may start coming out, and that can even the exit polls will be out. So all that also can affect the market. So Thursday, Friday could be big movement day. So that's something that could be expected. And after that, on Monday, next Monday, so by weekend the counting happens and the results would be out. So that would kind of see the effect on Monday. So like I said, overall the weekend would be something that would be on focus. Apart from that, like as given in the title page, the focus would be today on Coal India and Amar Raja. Because Coal India, of course, the results have come. The results were not great as I discussed yesterday. But then Coal India, I don't see further much fall because it's already kind of been consolidating. It's not a big rise. So maybe there's a temporary fall, but from there we will see some recovery is what I'm expecting. Of course, I am invested in Coal India. Apart from that, if you look at Amar Raja, so Amar Raja is another stock in my portfolio which has been kind of consolidating for a long time. So it is of course in slight profit, but then probably this news can actually give some strength to it. That is, they have opened a gigafactory in Andhra Pradesh, in Telangana, for the new manufacturing plant of lithium cells, which is actually a good thing, especially because the future is driving towards electric vehicles. So for electric vehicles, lithium cells actually makes a big difference. So that's something which has been on the focus. So hoping that Amar Raja, which has been on consolidation mode, kindly finally sees some positivity. So that's being expected on the cards. So apart from that, if you look at this week, with a major result I would be waiting for is L&T and Tata Motors, which is upcoming in this week. Of course, I will announce it, the day it comes. So these are few things to be on focus this week. Otherwise, it's going to be a very interesting week. Let's see how the market takes through. And will 18,000 be broken is a big question. But I don't see the 18,000 to be broken unless probably DIS plan to sell continuously, which I'm not expecting as such. But then, very important thing that I would be looking at is, of course, HDFC Twins, because HDFC Twins, as we discussed, have fallen by more than 5% on Friday just for an extrinsic factor, and it is not an intrinsic factor. So I don't see a reason why it has to continue to fall a lot. But if it kind of stabilizes at this point, it would be good. But if further fall comes in HDFC Twins, that could actually lead the market lower. But then I would look at it as an opportunity for myself to add some more investment into this SDFC Twins, and because of course I'm kind of confident on that company, and I want some more investment there. So that's something on the cards for now. So that's it for now. I hope we've answered. Yeah. So yesterday we had a question from Mr. Shashidharan. Pro Shashidharan had asked about the DIAs. So will they be buying when they've been buying for so long, and FIAs have been buying for so long. Last week they've been net sellers to tune of almost 5,000 plus crores. So if they start booking the profit, will DIA start booking? Start buying. See, it's a natural tendency. We've been discussing earlier also that DIAs are people who are long-term investors. So whenever FIAs are selling, FIAs are generally short-term investors. So whenever FIAs are selling, it can be an opportunity for DIAs. So based on situation, they might decide. The second important thing is the kind of fund flows that is coming into DIAs. So of late, if you see the way the people have been getting more awareness about mutual funds, about insurance, so all these things have been kind of bringing a lot of fund flow into the market. So most of these insurance, which is unit linked or equity linked, or simply mutual funds which are into equity, all these are getting good fund flows. So as long as these fund flows are happening, there is a government rule that these fund managing companies cannot keep fund in cash. So they have to deploy this cash at some point or time or other. So they cannot keep the cash once it has come into them. So naturally they have to do buying. So this could be more of a phenomena of buying, I would say, of that profit booking. But then they would have to buy again, use that cash. So DIAs are, of course, as long as the retailers are strong, that is strong mutual fund investment is coming in, the DIAs would continue to be strong and they will continue to buy. But then what was that big profit booking on Friday is a question mark, of course, for which we don't have an answer. But then today, let us see how the DIAs perform. Because they've not been booking such big profits of late. In fact, they've been on a big investment mode. So naturally, it is kind of natural, I would say, to book some profit on Friday. So what will happen today, and are they going to continue with big selling? That is a question mark. I don't think so. But if it happens, then that means that there is something internal that we should be worried about. So I will be keenly watching on the FIDI data for today and tomorrow, just to understand what is the intention there. But however, there is no guarantee that FIAs can continue to buy, but they at any point of time can start selling. And if they start selling, see, stock market is finally a zero-sum game. So if somebody is sold, there should be a buyer, and only then the trade completes. So even if FIAs are selling, big, there should be somebody to buy. So only if there is somebody to buy, the trade gets executed, and then the trade happens. So if somebody is selling, the buyer has to be there. So if people like FIAs, institutionals come into selling, only an institutional can buy that amount of quantity. A retailer cannot. So naturally, that has to be a balance between DIA and FIA, and that is something that will continue throughout, right? So otherwise, FIA orders will never get executed. Even if they put a sell order, there's nobody to buy, then what will happen? So that will be the situation. Got it? So this was answering Pro Shashidharan's question in the comment section yesterday. If you have any questions, of course, you can post in the comment section. I would be answering that in the next day's podcast, right? So thank you everyone. Hope you loved the content that we shared. If you love, do press the like button. That of course motivates us. And if you have still not subscribed to our channel, do subscribe. And of course, do share this podcast with your friends and relatives to help them learn and invest together with us. Goodbye. Have a great week ahead. This is Srikaraj signing off until we catch up tomorrow morning.